Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing out there in Kiwanis land? My name is Aaron Phillips, and do not adjust your sets, ladies and gentlemen. You are seeing our version of the Brady Bunch. That's right. This is the Brady Bunch version of Kiwanis Connects. I am Aaron Phillips. We are all hoping you had a great start to 2023. We want to wish you all the best that this year can offer you. In today's show, listen, we're kicking it off right, because not only do I have one, but I have two people from the same family, and they're not even sitting in the same room in the same house. What do you know about that? First, let me introduce our leader of the Kalamazoo District, Governor Val. Good morning, Governor. Happy New Year.
Aloha. Happy New Year, Aaron. It's just like, I can't believe we're back.
I know.
This is awesome.
3 weeks went by pretty fast, and I'll give you the honor to introduce our guest who, let's see if I do this right like the weatherman does over here. He's right. That's right. You got to point down. I'll point. I can't reach to him to tickle him. So why don't you introduce our guest?
I very rarely get to do this, so I'm so excited. This is my first mate, Andy Klingelhofer. Andy has taken on the role of supporting me on this governing journey, and sometimes kicking and screaming. But, he's doing it. So, Andy, want to tell him a little bit about yourself?
Good morning. I'm, as Val said, Andy, her first mate, and I am supporting her through a project called KIC, which is Kiwanis Investing in Circle K. It's an initiative that we stole from another district.
Borrowed.
Modified.
I spent 40 plus years in higher education as an administrator, mostly working with students. So Circle K became an instant connection for me because I work with students every day for, as I said, 40 plus years.
Well, welcome to the show. I want to let our audience know, to those who are not familiar with Kiwanis, let me just share with you this, ladies and gentlemen. We are not the Australian airline company. Okay, so let's get that out of the way. Kiwanis is an international community service organization, and I'm just going to share with everybody the detailed information on how it reads on Kiwanis International's website. Kiwanis International is a global community of clubs, members, and partners dedicated to improving the lives of children, one community at a time, and really one child at a time. Today, we stand with more than over 500,000 members, from K-Kids, which is down in the elementary schools, to Key Club in high school, all the way up to Kiwanis as the adult version. Many ages, also 80 countries in around the world. Each community, of course, has different needs, and Kiwanis empowers members to pursue creative ways to serve the needs of children, such as fighting hunger, improving literacy, and offering guidance. And Kiwanis clubs host nearly 150,000 projects a year to support their community. We do good stuff. Okay, I'm a veteran of Kiwanis as well, and Circle K and Key Club, so the K family is one that is very familiar. I do want to let everybody know, since we are now on the worldwide digital broadcasting station or network, we have a new phone-in number if you want to call us at 702-992-3207, and that'll pop up on the screen shortly here. Of course, you're watching us on Facebook. We are also on the Worldwide Digital Broadcasting YouTube channel if you're watching there. And of course, within how many days does it take to get on Roku, Mr. Producer? 2 days. So in about 2 days from now, this show will be available on the Roku channel. You must look up Worldwide Digital Broadcasting to be on the correct channel. So check us out. We are here, and more platforms will more than likely be expanding over the course of the coming weeks. So thank you for everybody tuning in. If it's the first time, thank you. If you've watched us before, you found us. We tried hiding from you, but you followed the breadcrumbs, and here we are. But anyway, so I wanted to just share that with folks. We are, of course, monitoring, as always, the chat room. So if you have a message, you're welcome to pop that up in there. If you're watching on YouTube, put a message there. My producer hopefully will grab it and put it up there so we can see it. And I'm making John, he's already throwing his hands up, Val. I'm giving
He's such a great guy. And so we're already testing his abilities.
Well, that's just it. You should see the thanks I'm getting from him right now behind the camera, let me tell you. But anyway, so Val, how was your year? Let's talk about your holiday season a little bit. And I guess you'll be talking for and or with Andy on this, I guess. So talk about the last couple of weeks of the year.
Oh my goodness. When I thought I was going to get a little R&R, I guess I was fooling myself. Uh, because what you have above your head is what we spent the last week doing, which is the Rose Float and the Tournament of Roses parade down in Pasadena, and it was a wild time. And so Andy was our magic driver. Andy, how was that for you?
Well, I used to live in Southern California, but forgot how much fun it is to drive there. Driving the international president and his spouse around was great fun.
And so we actually were hosted by Division 4, which is in Huntington Beach. And they took us out on the harbor, and that was a relaxing time. And then we met with all the international presidents, international president of Rotary, international president of the Optimist, and Lions Club, and all of their leaders, and came up with some amazing fun things to do, in addition to actually riding on the float. And I can tell you, that is an experience of a lifetime. It really
So, Andy, you were the one underneath everything driving the float, is that right?
No. I was driving the international president around in a van.
I got you. So you were playing Driving Mr. Daisy.
Yes.
I got you. Okay. I want to just clarify. John, I don't know if you have some of those pictures that Val sent down from the parade available. Not okay. Very good. We'll get them. We'll get them available. So we'll put them up in post-production. Okay. So listen, like I said on a previous show, I was there to see the parade years ago when Penn State first got into the first Rose Bowl back against Oregon. I think it was in '89 or whatever it was. And we saw the Kiwanis float go by. So Val, you guys saw the float really from the first seed, more or less, to where it was on display on international TV. You were on it. Again, you said, it's an experience, but give our viewers some feeling of what it was like.
Well, this time last year, I was actually in process of picking the design for this float. Phoenix Decorating Company is amazing. And so they came up with 20 renderings. The Kiwanis Bros Club actually broke it down to 10. And then I got to actually pick the final one. So there are a lot of hidden things and symbols in the float. And we had a preview party that people talked about last October.
I remember.
We got to see the wireframe, and we got to see parts of it. And it was like slow motion camera watching all the flowers go on and everything. We had over 80,000 different flowers. And my favorite flowers are iris. And so we had 4 different kinds of irises on this float. One iris, that variety of iris that we had that was given to us by Trader Joe, each flower cost $65.
Holy shnikes. And how many of those did you have on there?
We had about 150 of them.
Wow, that's more than $100 worth of flowers, I think, if my math is
right. I think, but it was amazing because Trader Joe had them extra, so they just donated them to us because we gave them all the volunteers to help them build their float. So
very
over
cool.
7,000 Key Clubbers and Circle K members and Kiwanians all come in during the month of December and help build all the floats in the Phoenix Decorating Company area.
Right on.
It was amazing.
I want to give a shout out to a couple of people who have been popping into the chat room. So as you're watching the show, if you see my head kind of dive down, I have a laptop here in front of me because my eyes are not that good over there looking at the big screen. But a couple of shout outs here. Let me give our first shout out to, of course, Christina von Lindenberg here in Las Vegas, past lieutenant governor of our division last year. We have a greetings from Anchorage from Daryl Bowen up there. So Anchorage, thank you. Good morning. I don't know. Is this the time of year when the sun's up or sun down for 6 months? It's probably down now, right?
I think it's down.
I think it's down, right?
Mm-hmm.
Leanne Harrison, of course, who watches our show regularly from Division 39. She also says Aaron Hayden says hello as well. And let's see. Thomas Glenn, also known as Chief, one of my co-hosts on Thoughts Count Anywhere. He's in the chat room. Power Play Sports Collectibles has jumped in the chat room. That, of course, Scott Hosey, the owner there, he's jumped in and said hello. And Diane Anthony, great to see the first show of 2023 from Division 32 in Sonoma County, California. So thank you, everybody, for catching back up with us after the holiday season. So, Andy, I want to ask you a question because I got your bio, and one of the first things in the first sentence that I kind of chuckled about when I read your bio was, you were coaxed out of retirement in 2019. And when I read that, I kind of just started laughing and really didn't bother reading the rest because I like the being coaxed out. First of all, what were you doing in retirement that when when you got coaxed that you said, okay, I'm out of retirement. Let me come and do this.
I was retired and managing a home in the country with plenty of things to do in the outside world. When Val and I moved to the home right after I retired, we said we could have never lived here if we were both working. So when you live rurally, you have a lot of things to do. When I was coaxed out because maybe it was time to do something different, a former boss of mine said, we really need your help for 6 months. And that turned into 2 years.
Well, there you go.
We actually lived in Turlock for 2 years in Stanislaus County. And Andy ended up working at Stan State. And I am still connected to Stan State because of Andy. And I joined another Kiwanis club. And I kind of went to a meeting while Andy was working. And I came back and said, honey, I did this thing.
So now you know the real reason that I went back to work is because someone has to pay to be a Kiwanian volunteer.
Right.
And so since Val was the volunteer, someone had to earn the money so she could join more than one club.
That's funny. That is fun. Well, you know what? Being married as long as I have, and I'm sure you guys, how long you guys married now?
This is Mr. John.
22
years.
So, Andy, you and I learned a valuable lesson. What's the old saying? Happy wife, happy life.
Happy
Right?
life.
Yeah. So, I mean, rarely do we ever get an opportunity to say no when we're asked to do something from really the kingpin of the house. Let's be realistic about it. So you came out of retirement, and the direction was what? What were you directed to do when you came out of retirement?
I became an associate vice president for student affairs, which meant that I worked with all of the managers for everything from student activities, clubs and organizations, student housing, conduct, our diversity center, and a variety of other things. And through that process, I got to help support Val in the development of the first Circle K club at Stanislaus State.
Gotcha. And where is Stanislaus State? Tough for me to say.
It's in the city of Turlock, which is about an hour and a half south of Sacramento.
Gotcha. So it's the northern part of
favorite towns. It's one of my absolute favorite towns. We go there to eat. So if you haven't been to Turlock in 20 years, you need to go back. They have every single kind of food that you want to eat and the best people I've ever met. So I'm just jumping in.
No, and that's, there's a lot of parts of the world like, something is happening in my picture, so don't adjust your TV set. John is adjusting me. I feel like Wilson. Wilson. Earthquake in Las Vegas. See, this is what we do to entertain our governor here. But actually, I want to thank some of the watchers right now. They've been messaging us as to how we're looking on their screen, and we appreciate the feedback. This is what happens when you have a live show, ladies and gentlemen. Stuff can happen. That's not that we couldn't have waited till break to make the adjustments. I want to just mention that to my producer, but it's okay. He owns the studio, so he can do whatever the heck he wants to do. All right, so let's talk about Kick. Let's go back to that again. Andy, let's describe what that is, and then when we come back from break, we'll get into how that's connected into the K family.
Sure. Kick stands for Kiwanis Investing in Circle K, a program that started in the Ohio district that is a process for supporting the students, the college students that are involved in that process. It is an opportunity to work with students so that they want to become Kiwanians, the next step in their life. So
when you reach these kids, first of all, my first question is, do they know what Kiwanis is?
Many of them have been in high school, were Kiwanians in high school, and so that they know that. But probably at least 50% of the students who join have never been in any club in high school connected with Kiwanis.
So it was as much of a learning phase for them at that point, which is good, because at least whatever you were doing and the other folks were doing to get it out there that this Kick program is available, seems like people were responding to find out what Circle K / Kiwanis is about.
Right. And the Kick program came later because it was an opportunity to support financially their activities in terms of district-wide activities or international activities.
Right on, right on. Governor Val, what is the result that you have seen from this on your end as the governor in terms of infusion of Circle K and interest within the sponsored youth programs?
Well, one of the things that's absolutely amazing about how we're dealing with Circle K is it's the largest college-led service organization in the world. And these students were feeling kind of disenfranchised. And so by Andy saying, my family project is to focus in on you, has been amazing. The response that we received back, the interactions that we've had with our Circle K members is amazing. And so they've actually started their own Kiwanis Club of alumni of Circle K, which had never happened before. So on September 30th, in knowing that this is coming along, there was the sunny California Circle K Alumni Club. That's an immediate result of saying Andy going out from May of 2020. I hate to say last year. It's like,
I just got used to writing 22 on the back end of my dates. Now I got to change that already.
I know, but the immediate response of knowing that they're feeling supported is already resulting in new Kiwanians, but it's also giving people insight into what these, and they're not kids, they're adults. It is an adult supported group where they just need that extra financial support to do the things that most organizations don't provide. So I think we're going to go to break and come back, and I would love to talk more about this, because if it wasn't for Andy, there are 2 Circle Ks that would not exist.
And we'll learn more about that. As Governor Val said, you are watching Kiwanis Connects right here on Worldwide Digital Broadcasting TV, WWDBTV. You can find us on the .com as well. Thank you for watching. Don't go anywhere, because Governor Val says we'll be right back.
This is the story of one man's incredible journey from 350 to 200-pound weight loss and his mission to help and inspire others. Aaron Phillips. People are praising Aaron's new book with 5-star reviews. Aaron's various humorous and wildly entertaining stories portray his rise as a sports announcer, his encounters with exotic and irregular entertainers on the Las Vegas Strip through his long-running Vegas Unwrapped radio show, and his contagious and positive style of pursuing success. Call now or visit our website or Amazon now to get your copy of Let My Voice Speak to You, stories from a Hall of Fame radio personality. Order now.
Hey, welcome back to Kiwanis Connects. Oh my goodness, the countdown between breaks, they don't change. 30 seconds. Oh, here we are. Go. What? Anyway, you're watching Kiwanis Connects here from the Worldwide Digital Broadcasting TV studios in the heart of Las Vegas, Nevada. Hey, it's Friday, January 6th, but you know what? Next week, you know what that means. Hope you're not superstitious. Friday is Friday the 13th, next Friday. But you know what? It's a lucky day for us. You want to know why? Because I'm going to have a special in-studio guest next week. We're not going to announce who that is until the end of the show. That's what we call a hook, so you keep watching. Anyway, that's right. Governor Val, why don't you take it away? You had some questions and things you wanted to bring up.
Well, absolutely. And so one of the things is that, in Andy's 40 years of working in higher education, his philosophy kind of dribbled onto me, because I've always been a director of admissions and a registrar. So I don't usually get to interact with really happy people when I was working in college campuses. But Andy actually has a leadership theory that I've always admired about him. And so he helped develop 2 Circle Ks. And Andy, you want to share a little bit about starting that first Circle K?
Excuse me, at a campus before I went to Stanislaus State, before I retired, we spent probably 5 years trying to get a Circle K started. We even brought in Circle K officers from an adjacent campus to try to help us recruit and we were never successful. Maybe it was me, because after I retired, it finally formed. So
Nothing personal, Andy.
I didn't take it personally. It was just the fact that it was an opportunity for students. The leadership opportunities that come from being in Circle K are fantastic in terms of their ability to do good for the campus, to do good for the city or the county that they live in, and for them to have an opportunity to develop leadership skills that they can use once they graduate. So it seemed important. It was important. As I said, it took a long time the first time. When we were at Stanislaus State, it took like 3 weeks. So I guess you get better the second time around. The other thing interesting with the Circle Ks is that they could continue during COVID. As most people know, campuses went virtual, with lots of clubs and organizations on campuses either shut down or did very little. But Circle K at Stanislaus State stayed so active that they won awards at the end of the year for their activities. So it's a very special opportunity to work with students who are driven to be better.
I want to do a shout out right now because not only did they win awards on campus, they won some of the top awards for the California State University school system.
Nice.
The chancellor awarded them the top student service organization. And Andy's not going to pat himself on the back, but Andy actually won the Administrator of the Year award as he was retiring his was it your third retirement or second retirement?
Third. Congratulations on unretiring successfully 3 times.
Yes, thank you.
By the way, we obviously Andy is your first name. I just want to let everybody know, joining us, Andy Reid, the head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs, has not resigned from the football team to be here with us today. That's a different Andy. This is Andy. Looks exactly the same, but I just want to clarify that as we keep referring to Andy. Okay,
yes,
let's clarify that.
Do you get my brother?
Yeah, just as long as he remembers you in the will, right? That's all that matters. So what I want to know, when you build I just still call them sponsored youth. I know that's not what they're really called today much anymore. That shows you how long I've been in the organization. But one of the things we were hoping for is when a key club started, we get members or Circle K, those clubs go up. But we also hoped and anticipated that their family, moms, dads, grandparents, whoever's their home, would then look into Kiwanis to strengthen Kiwanis, because the Kiwanis clubs need strength as well. Has any of that started trickling into Kiwanis clubs from these new key clubs?
Actually, it has. And so our membership, when we started in the beginning in October, we were at a little less than 9,500 members in California, Nevada, and Hawaii. And we are now at 9,800 and moving fast and increasing. And so we've done a special reach out to our Circle K and our key clubbers who are alumni in other areas, because they can actually join a Kiwanis club and only pay $25 a year for the first 2 years. And so that gets them eased into being Kiwanians. And the more we market that and advertise it, they can serve with their Kiwanis club. They get excited. And so I have a feeling that by the time you see us in June in International Convention, we're going to be bragging about the fact that we're back over 11,000 members in our district, because our alumni know that we care, and they actually realize that they can do good from their own communities. So
you mentioned that needs to be advertised. I don't know if KI has a prepared commercial for that. If not, I think that's something we should put together as a commercial to run on this show, so that anybody who may be watching that's not a Kiwanian but is an alumni of the K family knows that opportunity of $25 a year membership for 2 years, that is an outstanding opportunity to become a member of the Kiwanis family.
We're going to have that commercial next week.
Okay. That's it. There you go.
It's like Leanne and Diane, who are out there right now. We got a job to do for next week.
There you go.
Cynthia.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, yeah, right. I just saw her pop up. Cynthia just popped into the chat room. as well as our good friend Jennifer McCord out in Hawaii is here. By the way, special shout out to Jennifer. She spent about a week here in Vegas. We had an opportunity to get together and say hello in person. So she made it back to Vegas safely. Thank goodness. I don't know if she flew on Southwest, but I wouldn't want to be part of Southwest Airlines right now. But anyway, so listen, it's always great. People, we as Kiwanians, we always get overshadowed by the success and what the energy of the kids do. Everybody on up through Circle K. It's amazing. And I always wish that energy and that desire and, it could be just bottled up and be sold to every Kiwanis club or person around who just needs that little extra inspiration. It's good to see that there's that trickle down effect of alumni and it's making things a little more obvious. But family members of the newer K family, the new Key clubs that you just started, are those family members also wondering, hey, what's this Kiwanis thing that's sponsoring Circle K for my kids? Maybe I should check it out. Is there interest coming from those folks too?
Well, usually not at the Circle K level, but at our K Kids. And K Kids, it's amazing. We've started 12 K Kids in California, Nevada, and Hawaii over the last couple of months.
Explain what that is for those who are new to us.
K Kids are the elementary school level. And so you have, it's built just like a Kiwanis club. And so you have like a 5-year-old secretary who can't spell secretary, who takes notes. Or you have a president who says, I know that we need to have a car wash, so everybody shows up, but there's no buckets and no water because they didn't know how to do the planning, but they know they're Kiwanians.
Right.
And so that's where we're getting the parents.
Okay.
And once the parents follow through, it's fabulous. And at the Key Club level, most high schoolers don't want their parents going on trips with them. So what we've been encouraging their parents to do is be a part of the club or Kiwanis clubs, but doing something a little bit different than their students are doing.
Right on.
And then we also go after the empty nesters because they get so used to being at Kiwanis events while their students are there and saying, now it's your turn. Come on in. So
absolutely. And that makes perfect sense. Andy, what's your, I neglected to ask this earlier and I apologize. Other than your wife coaxing you out of retirement to get into the Kick program, what's your Kiwanis history, K family, all that sort of stuff? I want everybody to understand your involvement in Kiwanis over the years, if any, as I'm seeing both of you chuckle.
I have no experience with Kiwanis in any level. My decision was that only one of us could afford to be a Kiwanian and do it well. And that since it was Val's love, my goal was to support her so that she could do all of the things that she wanted to do. Plus, I could do all of the service I want with her and her clubs and not be a Kiwanian. So I have played Santa Claus. I have
I can see that
eggs and bacon for Easter. I have done all sorts of different things and get to do the service part of it. And then she counts my hours for her, so her service hours look really good.
My service hours look fantastic.
Yeah, I bet after 30 days in the position, you take the rest of the year off with still the best service hours possible. Cynthia puts into the chat room, and again, good morning, Cynthia, out there in Redwood City. Her club is the sponsor of the K Kids at Garfield Community School. Now, by the way, John, who is that popped in? That was the show host. I'm sorry. And what did that come in on? What did it come in on Facebook? Because I didn't see it pop up in this chat room.
On our web,
on
the WWDBTV
gotcha.
YouTube.
And let me just quickly, Kamisha, who is a host of one of the shows here.
Las Vegas Tribune News.
Oh, Las Vegas Tribune News. Thank you, Kamisha, for watching. She has a host here, and she's watching on the WWDBTV feed on the Facebook channel, and she's watching and sent in a message. Awesome. So thank you for tuning in, because I have a funny feeling, Kamisha, you might want to do a story on Kiwanis here in Southern Nevada so you know who to connect. You know what I'm saying? Right here. And well, right here. Maybe next Friday you come into the studio so you can interview Val and all that stuff about Kiwanis for your, see, this is what's called a cheap plug, ladies and gentlemen. But anyway, so So, but how you've been around it though for what, 20 plus years, Andy, right? I mean, obviously
No,
so how long have you been around I mean, Val's been a Kiwanian for a long time, yes?
12 years, I think. And so I've
So,
been around it for 12 years. My
okay.
parents, I grew up in a household where my parents were heavily involved in a service organization, one of
Okay.
the alternate service organizations. So it came as no shock to me. But the college level stuff became important because of what I did
Sure.
as a professional. And one of the things I realized was that they need more money. They need the support to be able to go to leadership opportunities, to go to their conferences, to go to that. And they raise money. They're supporting clubs have always provided money. Their Kiwanis clubs have provided money, but this was an opportunity to raise $15,000 to $20,000 that would be in addition to all of those pieces. Plus, my goal is to develop a small handbook that will work for both the campus advisor and also the Kiwanis advisor, because neither one of them often know that each university or college has money available that clubs often don't take advantage of. And so my goal is to figure out how to get that information out so that clubs can send more people to different leadership opportunities, both on campus and off, and in the Kiwanis world and in other worlds, so that students, when they graduate, have as much opportunity to have leadership training as they can, so that when they exit the university, they can use those skills and become Kiwanians.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
I have to admit, when I left college, again, I was at Circle K at Penn State. I waited 5 years to get married. And then I waited a few more years after that because I wanted the financial stability, job, family. I just got married. So it was probably close to 8 years, maybe 10 years before I was even able to consider joining Kiwanis because of, like you're talking about, the financial support, even making that transition from Circle K into the K family. And that is important to realize that. And I think sometimes that's where we lose some Kiwanis members coming out of Circle K, because now you're looking at a very different membership structure from Circle K into being a Kiwanian. I just want to remind everybody that if you'd like to join the conversation live on the phone, and we appreciate every comment that's coming in the chat rooms, we greatly appreciate that. You can give us a call right here in the studio and speak live, 702-992-3707. That is the new studio line, 702-992-3707. And for those of you just joining us, thank you for tuning into Kiwanis Connects. We greatly appreciate it. This is the show that shares all the important news about what Kiwanis does around the world, but we focus heavily on our division and our districts here in the California, Nevada, Hawaii district, as we commonly call it, the CalNeva. That's how I say it from the East Coast. Others say it CalNevha. That's from the West Coast. And if you get anywhere in between, we'll take that as well. So just want to thank everybody for watching and tuning in and seeing what we're all about. Val, I'll turn it back over to you. Any thoughts, questions for, I'm going to say Andy. I don't want to say her husband, but I mean, it is what it is. You know what I mean? So
It is, and I'm very happy. We celebrated our 22nd anniversary on New Year's Eve.
Oh,
And
well,
so
happy anniversary.
thank you. So we were around 40 of our favorite friends from all the service organizations doing the cheers. But I have Las Vegas has a very special space in my heart, and I know Andy's as well, because we developed the KIC program, the KIC initiative, in Las Vegas. We sat around basically a living room in a hotel with the UNLV Circle K members, asking them what they wanted, what was an issue for them. And Andy, I know there are a couple things that stood out from that conversation that we talked about quite a bit.
Two things came out. One is obviously financial. The other part is having advisors who understand both the college environment and what they can do there, but also the Kiwanis environment. And so that they want to be invited to things. They want to be invited to club meetings. They want to be invited to help with programs that the sponsoring Kiwanis clubs are doing. So their goal is to be more involved. And so part of what we hope to do is raise awareness with our Kiwanis clubs on how to invite Circle K to be involved so that you have additional help, you have additional leadership opportunities, and you show that unity that comes with why not become a Kiwanian once you graduate, especially if you can do it for $25 a year.
I just want to say the initiative could be very easily titled in two very simple words, having been on both sides of the fence. Two simple words: just ask.
Just
Right?
ask.
And I don't mean to minimize it, but I remember when I first moved out here, I was more or less attached to the Las Vegas Kiwanis Club out here, and that was cool. Then we started a new club, the Kiwanis Club of the Lakes. We had that for a while. That club folded. And until Christina von Lindenberg and I had a conversation a couple of years back about how to help promote Kiwanis in the division, and now we've expanded it to a district show. I had not been in Kiwanis. I was stagnant in Kiwanis since I left that group 15 years. Okay. And I kept wondering, my wife was a Kiwanian too with me for a while. She also was one of the first female members and officers in our club back in New Jersey when Kiwanis voted, finally, and thank you, to allow women into the organization. Many of the people that I knew as Kiwanians, I was still connected with them on Facebook. They see everything that I'm doing. You know, not one of them messaged me to say, hey, are you interested in joining Kiwanis again? And so Kiwanis came back into life for me because of my conversation with Christina, who was referred to me by a mutual party to have a conversation. And that's why I got back into Kiwanis. You know why? She asked.
Mm-hmm.
Very simple. Now, the things I'm doing, the shows and whatnot, I've not been hands-on with the club I was involved with here. Now, of course, this year, I'm a member of the Literacy Club, which is an online club. And every time I see the messages about donating books, we're going to be here and be there, I'm like, I can't be there. So but it is interesting. Just ask. If you know somebody who was a Kiwanian, or, you know, you mentioned UNLV, right? Obviously, one of our Kiwanis clubs sponsors that darn club. Every senior that's graduating, I hope that Kiwanis club here in town, and I don't know if Maritza's watching, because if she is, I would love to know who that club is. Just stay on top of the graduating class of Circle Kers, and let's get them involved with the $25 a year for 2 years, or whatever other items that are needed to get them to continue the K family experience. I will now step off my soapbox.
Oh, it's like, stay on that soapbox. I'm joining you, because the Green Valley Kiwanis are the main sponsors for UNLV.
Okay.
But you also have the Young Professionals Club that they're a foodie club. So if you're in Las Vegas, they actually go to all the new hotspots and eat. And so they're as social as they are in meetings, because it's not about the meetings. It's about the service. And so we're not that Kiwanis club that existed 30 years ago. We truly have fun with each other. And like you said, you still do the social thing. And I was just looking at the numbers, because, you know, I'm a numbers geek.
Right.
There are over 6,000 former members of Kiwanis that now live in the Las Vegas area. And that's because during COVID, it was really inexpensive to move to Las Vegas, because you could work from home. And so there are all these people that are former Kiwanians that we're going to say, come on in. We need your help. Because not only did they move there, but there's a lot of kids that need their help.
And I'm glad you just said what you did, because what do we have, 9 clubs now in our division? I don't know I know it's still 9, right?
Yes.
So we have people. We're the 5th largest school district in the country. Okay, everybody, I want you to I just kind of want you to think about that, ladies and gentlemen. The 5th largest school district. So with that in mind, that means we have a huge number of high schools. We have a huge number of middle schools, and 9 clubs with the membership that we have. And I know this personally, we don't have enough bodies to continue servicing our kids. And that means our Kiwanis clubs are double and triple sponsoring these clubs, because, again, as you guys have so eloquently said, it's about the kids and getting them involved in leadership and everything else, plus getting them involved in the community. We need members. We need clubs. Now, this is not something new that every governor, every lieutenant governor, every club doesn't face every day of the calendar year in a Kiwanis calendar. But this is a 6,000. I'm astounded by that number, that there's that many former Kiwanians. And I got to be honest with you, My wife is one of them, but because of her schedule, there's one thing about being a member, and then there's something about being a paper member.
Yes, there is.
My wife does not want to be a paper member. Okay. And there are a lot of people that would be happy just being a paper member, have their name on the roster because it looks good on the resume. And yeah, they'll write checks, and help donate the club. That's cool. Every club has that. But we also need the manpower. And our school district is an example with 6,000 former Kiwanians that live here. To get them involved to either create new clubs or help the current clubs grow back their strength to continue to support Kiwanis, Circle K, Key Club, K Kids. Do we have Action Club here? I don't know if there's an Action Club in Vegas.
There was an Action Club, and we need it back. Action Club is for our special needs adults that want to serve. And I'm going to give you a story because most people, they don't realize this. We had an Action Club convention, and there is a young man that is in a wheelchair, and he has Downs and a couple other amazing abilities that he's just working with. And I said, "Why are you an Action Club?" And he said, "I want to give back to people who are less fortunate than me." I lost it.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely lost it. And everybody wants to serve and help. And we can all help from whatever level we're at. And so, I want to give out a shout out to Hannah Santee, who is the person who coordinates Key Club. You have the largest divisions of Key Club in all of the Key Club world. There are over 3,000 high school students that serve in that area. And the same Kiwanis Club that sponsors your Circle K at UNLV sponsors 7 Key Clubs. They're at 7 different high schools.
Mm-hmm.
And so when they have their leadership meeting or their leadership fall rally, over 1,200 students showed up.
That's great that they came out. That's a lot. That's
huge.
Yeah, absolutely.
Made my husband cry. I'm sorry, Andy. I didn't mean to make you cry again.
Tears of joy. It's tears of joy. So before we get ready to go to break, though, in all seriousness, and I get the dual membership and multiple members and cost, Andy, be honest with me. Has anybody actually asked you to join a Kiwanis Club in the 12 years that you've been around it because of Val?
Yes, many, many times.
Okay. And why have you said no? I'm not trying to put you on the spot. Is it because of Val's commitment and you just want to support her? Is it the double membership? Because it's always, for a lot of people, I'm not trying to put you on the spot. What was the reasons that you said no over the 12 years?
Well, there are multiple reasons.
Sure.
One of which is to support Val, to be able to make sure she does what she, and there are other issues that are probably not appropriate for this show.
That's TMI. I'm not interested in that. But again, just under my initiative of Just Ask, I wanted to pose that to you to just make sure in 12 years, somebody, obviously Val would have probably been the first one to ask you to join. I want to make sure that base was at least covered. All right. With that,
even Anna Wu has asked him multiple times. So, and Anna has asked, and he said no. But I can't think of a more amazing person with a stronger heart in supporting me. And so, if you're listening out there, what I would ask for you to do is support the KIC initiative, which is our family initiative, and buy one of our lapel pins. They look so cool, or a challenge coin, or a banner patch. That's going to help us do an endowed scholarship. That's going to help us give funding to help support some of our Kiwanis clubs open Circle Ks in your areas that don't have Circle Ks. I'm going to give a shout out to John Brummer, who says they have 2, one at Sac State and one at UC Davis. But there are ways for you to support us. Just go in and make that donation. And we'll also put up an ad next time. So,
well, I'm going to be in for 2 challenge coins, one for me and my producer here. Challenge coins, for those who don't know, are traditionally a military service coin, if I'm describing that correctly. And John, you can correct me if I'm wrong here. And when I went to Hawaii to see the Pro Bowl and be part of that in 2009, the radio folks I was with and doing the shows with, we visited a couple of the bases out in Hawaii. having never experienced this before, when the commander that was in charge came up and shook everybody's hands. And I was the first person in line. When they shook my hand and I felt the coin and the coin transferred that way, I'm like, what is this? And then I found out the tradition. I have 3 of them that I had to embed into a lamp I had made because my dad kept threatening to steal them from me. So I had them embedded in the platform of a lamp I had made, beautiful challenge coins. So I'm going to be in at least for 2 whenever they're ready, for one for me. And I would like to give one to John to honor him as, you never say former military, but no longer active in the way that most would think.
It's former.
Former. You were in the Marines though?
Yes.
But see, I would thought that he was coughing up a fur ball, ladies and gentlemen. It's okay. But I thought the saying goes for a Marine: once a Marine, always a Marine. Right? And then, of course, Chief, my co-host on Thoughts Count Anywhere. As a matter of fact, I'll get one for him as well. So I'm in for 3 at least whenever they're ready. I don't know how much they cost, but I just committed to 3 coins. So I don't care if it's going back to K family. All right. With that silliness, and that in a way was a commercial all by itself without anybody realizing it, we are going to step away, though, for our official last break of the show, because when we come back, we're going to tie this up. We're going to have our first Where's Val Traveling To for 2023, which, by the way, unfortunately, we don't have the graphic ready, but it'll be ready next week. Because I caught John by surprise about that one because I forgot about it. Anyway, so last break coming up. Don't go anywhere. 15 minutes left. We'll be right back.
Are you looking for someone to provide training to your staff? Do you need a motivational speaker about how to handle change? Do you have an upcoming event that needs an MC to handle those responsibilities? Well, look no further than longtime Las Vegas radio personality Aaron Phillips. I am local to Las Vegas and I can blend my talents with any audience. For more information, please visit www.aaronphillipsvoice.com and book me for your next event or training needs.
Okay, here we go.
Hi, we're back.
It's like, woo!
We got to work that a little bit better, John. We need that a little bit better. By the way, Chief happened to have been in the chat room, and he says, count me in for a coin, but I'm going to take care of that for him. So either way, I may just get a bunch and hand them out here in town regardless. All right. So, Andy, if someone is watching right now, which there are somebody, so we want to thank everybody for tuning in, that maybe has never heard of Kiwanis, has never heard of Circle K, maybe they have a student or family member that's in the college right now, what would you say to these folks about getting involved in Circle K / the K family?
I think it's really important because it's the cheapest leadership training you're ever going to get. And you add a social component to that process. You get to meet people, particularly if it's a young student. If you're a freshman or a sophomore and you want to meet more people, you want to get to know, the best way to do it is to join an organization. Circle K is a great one. You get to meet people and you do service both on and off campus. So you have an opportunity to meet people when you do service. And it's just a special way to have a group of friends that you can call family and still go out and make other people feel that they matter the same as you do. So I just think, in high school, it's easier because you've been with these people a while. You go away to college, you don't know anybody, or you know very few people. And maybe you were in Kiwanis when you were in high school and you don't know what to do. Just go to your student activities folks and ask them if there's a Circle K. It's really simple. The membership stuff is generally zero. It doesn't cost you anything to join a college club. Sometimes there's dues for other things, but in Circle K, oftentimes those costs are covered by the sponsoring Kiwanis Club. So it's a really cheap, reasonable, or free opportunity to meet people and do service, make yourself feel good, and it looks good on your resume. And you have the opportunity to win awards, which also look good on your resume.
Now, I want to ask you one question. If that student were to go to their student union leaders to find out if there's a Circle K club, and they say, well, no, there is no Circle K club here, what can said student do?
They can start one themselves. It only takes, on most campuses, it takes somewhere between 5 and 7 people to start a brand new club. There's money available from the campus to help with advertising. Space to meet is free. There's all kinds of opportunities that make that really easy.
And of course, so you must also contact a Kiwanis club in the area. They must officially be involved in the organization and sponsoring. But the bottom line is as Andy said, as I so easily walked him down that aisle, fed him a fastball right down the plate. If there isn't a Circle K there, start one. If there isn't a Key Club at your high school, get help. Start a Key Club. I'm a founding member of my Key Club back in 19. And so it can happen. I don't want to divulge. So start one for yourself, because you know what? Yes, it looks great on the resume, but imagine if it says founding member of said Key Club or Circle K. And that's also very impressive. I just want to share something about becoming a Kiwanian. And I had this thought before, and I know you guys can echo this. Many people join Kiwanis as adults for the wrong reason. What's the one wrong reason? They think it's a networking group like BNI and all those other lit tips and things like that, where, oh, I'm going to join Kiwanis, so I'm going to do this for business. I'm going to tell everybody right now, don't do it. Do not join a Kiwanis club thinking it's a networking group. Now, you join as a member and you get involved and you get to know your members. Will networking-like things happen? Of course. Oh, thanks, Chief. No, not 1900, Chief. I'll clarify that tomorrow with you. But networking and relationship building will come natural once you become a member. And as was said earlier, you build relationships with these other people. So if I'm in a club and I need a painter and I have these relationships and one of my members paints homes, guess what? Who am I calling first? My painter friend. Even today, and I'm sure you guys do this, if somebody contacts you and says, I need so-and-so, don't you think of a Kiwanian first as a referral? I know I do usually.
Oh, absolutely. And you know, in Las Vegas, you have a directory that actually has all the members. And I know in my club, I'm first going to ask the person that is an exterminator the questions that I need to know. Or my dentist who is in there, he became my dentist because he was a Kiwanian and he was on the list and I didn't know who to go to. That's how that works. But it's because we build this bond that we're giving back to our community. And that's the absolute magic. And there are other opportunities where you can do business networking. But one of the things I think is really cool about Kiwanis, if you join as a business, if you join as a corporate member, then your expenses that you have with Kiwanis and the donations that you make are all business write-offs. So you get a 2-for-1 kind of process. So I know that in the Southwest Club, which is also in Las Vegas, there are a number of young professionals that were like, I know that I need to be doing something in the community. I really want to do that, but I don't want to take it from my personal expenses.
Mm-hmm.
And Kiwanis isn't that expensive. In your area, the average dues for the year is $140. And most people don't realize that. They think it's like $140 a month. No, it's $140 a year because it covers your insurance. It covers all that amazing training for our students that Andy was talking about. And when he says it's cheap, it's like, it's not the quality. It is amazing. It is first rate. We have people in our Kiwanis Amplify program. We have certification processes for our college students so they can be certified in leadership and development. And so when you graduate as an aeroscience engineer and you're also certified as a leadership expert, think about how fast you go up the ladder.
Absolutely.
And so we have Circle Kers that are graduating and becoming part of the administration of some of the most amazing companies in the world. And they say that it's because they had the confidence that was given to them through the leadership training in Circle K.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Great stuff. Again, I just want to remind everybody out there, these opportunities do exist for everybody. Just take a couple of seconds. Now, locally within, if you're watching and listening, which many of you are, I can't help Anchorage, Alaska, but California, Nevada, and Hawaii is a district, or thinking about it in terms of a business structure, it's like a region, and Val is our regional manager as governor. So if somebody is listening right now and wants to know, who's brand new to Kiwanis, and they want to know, is there a Kiwanis club near me? Where can they go online to find said information?
You can go on Kiwanis.org, Kiwanis.org, and there is Find a Club at the very top of that webpage. or you can message us at Kiwanis Connects. Go on Facebook. And we also have Kiwanis International as one of the pages. There are clubs all over the world. And if we're not in your community now, we would love to come there and help you bring Kiwanis, because you have kids, you have seniors, you have veterans that need the support and the service that we give as volunteers.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. All right. Andy, before we run out of time, I do want to say thank you for coming on and making this your very first ever interview about anything in life. I'm so honored to have that as part of Kiwanis Connect. But it is now time. I'm going to shift to our favorite part of the show. Where is Val going? So Andy, this may be the part of the show where you put your fingers in your ears, because you know it's going to cost you a lot of mileage and driving time. So Val, give us an idea as to where you're going and what the road trips coming up for you will be.
So over this next week, we're actually in 1 hour, I'm headed down to Santa Maria, California, where I get to hang out with 150, 160 of my favorite college student or high school student leaders, because it's our winter board meetings. And so our key wins and our key clubbers are meeting to talk about what's going to be happening next. And on Thursday, I'm actually flying out to Las Vegas.
There's your jumping over the shark. There's our special in-studio guest for next Friday. Governor Val will be here with me live and in person. Andy, are you coming in with her? No, he's resting at home.
Someone has to stay home and mind the fort.
Oh, okay.
And so Aaron, I'm so excited to be in Las Vegas for two reasons. One, our international president and all of the governors from North America, Kiwanis, will all be in Las Vegas. And we're going to be talking about how we can be more supportive of our Kiwanis clubs and redirect the funding that's coming in to support our Kiwanis clubs. And we also have all of our service leadership program district administrators from North America coming in. So our K kids, our Key Club, our Builders Club, our Circle K, and our Action Club folks are all going to be coming in. And we're going to be talking about how we can make sure that our youth are protected. And so we're going to talk about risk management, but we're also going to be talking about how to make it more available and less expensive for folks to be involved. And we're kicking off a brand new Kiwanis Club in downtown Las Vegas.
I can't wait to hear more about that next week. That sounds like it's really cool. I'm happy to hear that. Listen, a lot of things are going on, folks. It's a new year, new pledges, new dedications, new resolutions, whatever you want to call it. But you know what? Every day, we really should be out there helping somebody. A smile, a wink, how are you? Say thank you, whatever it is. But every day we should really be doing something special to help somebody around us. So, Governor Val, our clock is ticking down. So, Andy, again, I want to say thank you. Usually I ask our guests for any final thoughts. So give me a final thought for the day as we get ready to say goodbye.
Final thought for the day, just do it. Do it.
I like it. Plain and simple. All right, Governor Val, final thoughts for the day before we see you here next week.
Keep on smiling and make your number one resolution to serve others and take good care of yourself. Looking forward to seeing you all.
I like it. Short and sweet. I'm Aaron Phillips, always reminding you, hey, be kind to everybody. Why? We're all we have. Guess what? I'll see you tomorrow, 9 to 11 a.m. right here on the Worldwide Digital Broadcasting TV Network. Thoughts Count Anywhere, all your wrestling talk with my buddies, Chief and Thomas and Scott and Thomas again. It's going to be fun. And then at 12 o'clock, the premiere of Aaron's Hour right here with my guests Hal Savar and Frank Pizarro. Lots of good stuff happening here at Worldwide Digital Broadcasting TV. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next week right here on Kiwanis Connects. Thank you. Have a great week, everybody.
Aloha.